Alright, welcome back guys, welcome to your first time here. I'm Vision Hero Bar Entertainment bringing you guys another video. Taking you guys my review for The Walking Dead Season 11 Episode 7, Broken Promises. Now after walk through some you're interested, don't forget to hit subscribe button down below, hit that bell icon, don't miss more Walking Dead content from me moving forward. Now let's begin. So we're at Episode 7. Now, this one was kind of a mix. It was okay, I would say, but it wasn't like great or, amazing. I thought it was just okay. Now, you got 3 different stories go on. Now, I'm going to start off with the Daryl and Leah story first off, because that kind of has, like, the least amount of stuff going on. They go off in, I guess, hunting, searching for Maggie and her group. Now, while they're out there searching, they run into this man and his family. His wife is badly wounded, and he's asking for help. So, they go there, check it out, knowing that Pulp's coming, because they radioed back to him. And that, knowing that he's coming, it'll most likely kill him, they send the father and son away to, help them and escape. And they leave the mother there, and Daryl, puts down the mother before she can die in turn. That's pretty much all that it is regarding that story. You got some back and forth between the two of them regarding, Leah and the Reapers. And you can kind of see here that Leah is kind of things are starting to crack with her and her allegiance with Pulp. So you can see those moments there, and you can see that she's breaking, especially when she was going to shoot the wife, but then she couldn't. So you can see those little breaks happening there. So it was an okay story arc. Not much going on there, so it just kind of felt like it was there just for, filler. I guess to expand a little bit on Daryl and Leah. But at the same time, I kind of feel like it was somewhat of a waste of space. I feel like we already know what's been going on with Daryl and Leah. So I just feel like it wasn't totally necessary, but, it is what it is. Then you got the story regarding Negan and Maggie. Now, they regroup afterwards. Gabriel heads off to scout. Now, this is one thing where I find it funny, because they talk about how Gabriel has an encounter with a man of God in the episode. Meanwhile, he just watches some random Reaper wander around the woods praying. Like, really, that's about it for his encounter? I was hoping for something more. It was really stupid, and again, just put there, I feel like, just to fill up time within the episode. But then you got Maggie and Negan back at the camp. Now, we got them, exchanging some words. And I really like how this part was brought up about how if Negan could do it any different. He talks about how, I would have killed everybody at that night at the lineup, not just Gwen and Abraham. So that was a very interesting storyline. I also like how they brought up how, the people at his outpost had families and loved ones too. And I like how he brought up the fact that, where'd Gracie come from? How did Aaron get Gracie? I really like those little things there. That was a really cool thing. But you got Negan, who teaches Maggie the whisper skill. Now, I wasn't sure what I had a feeling this is gonna happen, and after I saw the promotion for this week's episode, I had a feeling that they're gonna rip off or do a kind of thing with their whispers. I wouldn't say they're ripping it off, but they're kind of going along those lines of it. But I do like how they're using techniques that their enemies use to take out their new enemies. It's a really cool and interesting way. So you got, Negan teaching her what Alpha taught her how to, herd the walkers and use them, which is really cool. I really like that. I will say this. Now, I know that they had to do other things, but I feel like this should have been something that was set up and that was going on throughout the past few episodes. I understand we had the rendezvous with Negan and Maggie. I feel like they could have used scenes of that to have Negan teach her that technique. I just feel like it should have been a technique that Negan had showed her within the past 1 or 2 episodes, then have it be brought up here. I know that there was a lot going on and that they had other storylines going on, but I just feel like it would have helped a little better fleshing out the story regarding Negan teaching Maggie this skill. But that's just me. And you got a cliffhanger ending with Maggie leading the herd to Meridian, which is really cool. The one thing I will say is I don't really like it because it also feels like it's ripping off the cliffhanger from episode 15 last season. So I really didn't like that. Definitely taking out points there because it wasn't original. It just felt like a ripoff. But I do give praise here as a good moment, like how they're using techniques that their enemies had taught, that they learned from their enemies, and I'm really looking forward to them using the herd to take out Meridian in the next episode. Now, the big main storyline, at least, is stuff regarding Eugene's group at the Commonwealth. Now, like we knew earlier, they were sentenced to they were gonna have work off for their debts or whatever. So they're all clearing out lockers. You got some stuff there. You got Princess who realizes there's something up with Ezekiel, and he ends up going to get help and get some medical help, which is nice. I really like how they added that touch in. Really good stuff there. But then you got got the stuff with Yumiko. Now she is interviewing for a job as a lawyer, which is very interesting. I like that. I'm very curious to see what goes on there. She does bring up that she's not staying there temporary. So I wonder if they're going to use that to try to keep her there and kind of, try to pull her there and not let her leave. I'm very curious to see what goes on there. And she wants to know what's going on with her friends due to what happened. And she goes off to visit with her brother. Now they sit down in a kind of hall area. And they get talking. Yumiko's on him again about why he's not being a sergeant there. And at that point, in the middle of their conversation, you got Commonwealth soldiers who come and arrest him for reasons we don't know. And you got Yumiko who goes to Lance later on in the episode, and he says, look, we're taking good care of him. There's no need to worry. I don't really know. I'm very curious to see what goes on here. There are a few people saying that maybe he's going through, reassignment or reassessment or whatever due to the fact that he lied. So I'm very curious to go see how that plays out. Now, we do know that they learned this information because Yumiko had brought that up during her interview. So I really kind of like how Yumiko kind of screwed him over in that way earlier on in the season. So I really like that. But again, I really hope this isn't some kind of way to just stall for time. I hope this is something interesting that we go on here. But overall, it's okay. You also got Yumiko who requests a meeting with Pamela Milton, so we get a little tease there. Again, really great stuff. You got some bonding with Stephanie, with fake Stephanie and Eugene. One thing I'm curious about is, has Eugene picked up any signs that this isn't the real Stephanie? I'm very curious about that, if that's something that's going to eventually come out. But overall, great stuff. But then we get our big introduction to Sebastian Milton, the son of Pamela Milton. And it pretty much plays out the same way that it did in the comics. You got Eugene and fake Stephanie clearing out walkers, and you got walkers who end up showing up where they're having their date, and Eugene and Stephanie take them out, and Sebastian gets pissed off at them for interrupting his date, and Eugene pretty much fires back saying, look, we helped you, I'm waiting for an apology, and he pretty much fires back, screw you, I'm not giving you an apology, you interrupt what was going on here. At which point Eugene decks him pretty much, and after you got fake Stephanie save his girlfriend, which was another interesting point there, who freaks out. So really great stuff there. You got Lance and Mercer in a group of Commonwealth soldiers who come up. They arrest Eugene, and you got Sebastian. Sebastian who yells at Mercer for leaving him there and leaving him defenseless, and you got Lance who questions Eugene as to do you know who that guy is in regards to Sebastian. Now this comes off as really stupid. Now us comic readers know who he is, but especially for TV only fans, it's they don't know who this dude is. I feel like in orientation they should have had at least a scene where it shows okay, this is Pamela Milton, this is her son, they're she's our leader, this is the son. So at least it makes sense. Okay, Eugene, punched the guy who's the guy who's the son of the governor. Instead, it's do you know who this dude is? And it's no, I've only been here for a few days and no one told me. So it's I don't know. I don't really like that. It feels like there should have been some context there earlier on as to, look, this is Sebastian. Look, they don't even have to show us it, as long as they bring it up in if they had the orientation, brought it up at the end or something, said, stuff like that. They showed them images off screen, but we don't know if they know this information, so it just comes off as them, having conflict there. So I didn't really like that. You got Eugene who's arrested, and you got Lance who comes up and says, "Look, you got to pay off more labor here, and we'll kind of take it easy on you if you give us the location of your group." Now, I find it interesting because we never saw this in the comic, unless I'm forgetting because I haven't read the comic in a while. But you never got this push onto where their community is, I don't think, in the comic. So I find it very interesting as to why they're pushing this so much, and it's like, why would our group give up this information? And it pretty much leaves on this storyline, it leaves on a cliffhanger with Eugene gonna tell him this information, which kind of pissed me off because I'm like, really, Eugene, you're gonna give him the location of where your people are? I just kind of pissed me off there. Eugene kind of going in and willing to give up this information. I just don't really like that, and I'm just curious to see why I want that. Like, I understand and I want to check out where their community, but they're really pushing hard on the "where's your community" thing. So it just kind of, I don't know. It's just something there that just, I know what the commonwealth is supposed to be shady, but this is a little bit too much in my opinion. It feels like they're ramping up a little too high. But overall, I did like the story. This was definitely a good episode. It was an okay episode. I'm going to give this episode an 8 out of 10. Solid episode. Definitely could have been improvement. The Daryl stuff was kind of filler. The Maggie stuff was good. It just could have used a little bit of elaborating on within the past few episodes. But it was definitely good here. I really liked the back and forth there with her and Negan. The commonwealth story was pretty great. There's just a tiny few things here and there that I didn't like. But overall, I feel like it was a decent episode. Again, 8 out of 10. But let me know your thoughts and opinions about the episode in the comment section down below. So yeah, guys, that's my review of The Walking Dead Season 11, Episode 7, Promises Broken. As always, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and share. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below. Hit that bell icon. Don't miss more Walking Dead content from me moving forward. And you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, which is linked in the back section of my YouTube channel. As always, my Vision Hero Blood Entertainment, and I'll see you next time.